And we are
Hey,
coming live straight from the chair in our homes today because my girl been behind the scenes with the cooties. I'm just teasing.
right, right.
Listen, COVID is still real, and we keeping it popping. So we not gonna stop. Uh, let's log in. Y'all give me 1 second. I was logging in on Instagram.
We're here.
So yes, I am so excited about tonight, and I know people have been calling me, giving me the condolences. Like,
Hmm.
really, I really appreciate all the love that we got this week. Our dear friend Jamie, well, his real
Hmm.
name is Gerald, as we know, Jamie Gerald, Red, they call him, was late to rest on. He was actually late rest today, and we had a memorial on Saturday and an after party for him because he partied his butt off,
Oh,
and it really hit me. That was my first friend I've ever lost,
Oh wow.
like a real friend. Um, I didn't realize how hard it would be. Um,
Hmm.
not even trying to be sad because I thought that I could control my emotions, but it's a friend, and it was somebody I seen every day I walked in the salon, and to not be able to see him anymore, like, really hurts. And the fact that it all happened at the salon took it to another level.
Hmm.
And so I just want to give a moment of silence for my friend. Jamie, you would definitely be missed. Whew. And I'm gonna get myself together because I have my friend on who has gone from behind the chair to behind the movie scene. And I remember during COVID, we talked, Dee Dee, and we
so
was talking
much.
deep about you making that transition. So let's just talk about our industry now as a whole. Let me introduce Miss Dee Dee. Pronounce your last name. I always mess it up.
Metzger.
Metzger. Dee Dee Metzger. And where you from, Dee Dee?
I'm from College Park. I was raised in College
Hey!
Park.
I just wanted to hear you say it.
College Park.
College Park. So you got three real ATLians on the show tonight. Like, you don't get no better than that. This is
I
straight
tell you.
unicorn. Like, log in if
Mm.
you want to really meet the three ATLians.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
Yes. So how long have you been doing hair?
I have been doing hair for 30 years.
Ooh.
Now, I'm not counting the years in my mom's kitchen
Right.
before I got the eviction. I'm talking about because it did get to a point where she was like, I don't want to see another teenager in my house when I get off of work. So she shut down shop.
I remember those days.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Where did I go?
I'm
I
making
Hold
see
on,
sure
you.
y'all.
Jessica
Went
told
I
way
her
too
see you.
much.
to.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I was just flipping the thing around and it went away. But yeah, so girl, yes, I definitely remember those days of doing hair, rinsing in the kitchen sink, trying to doing hair at home. That's what we did. That's
That's what
what
we
we did.
did. That's how you
Yeah,
made it. That's how I learned. Messed up
yeah.
so many heads in my mom's kitchen.
So
That's how
you
I got it
basically
right.
been doing it since high school.
Yeah, I was doing it in high school. I was the person that did everybody's hair in the community.
Oh
Wow.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. So yeah,
What high
you
school did you go to, Didi?
I went to MD Collins and I graduated from
Gotcha.
Banneker. The
Okay.
first year, first class of Banneker, 1989.
Gotcha.
okay.
Gotcha.
First
Now I'm
class of
telling my
Banneker.
business.
Hey, listen, you ain't too far from us.
Hey, not far at all. Not far at all.
I got a little. My husband went to Banneker.
Oh yeah, that's right. He came
Mm-hmm.
out like I think 2 or 3 years.
93.
Yep.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep, he did. Because we used to talk about how most of the people went to MD Collins and then they switched it over to Banneker.
Yes. We
Yes.
were upset about that. That was
Yes, I know you.
like the most devastating thing we had ever experienced. Yeah, right.
Of course, right?
So that was
So
like
did
the
you go?
wave when Lakeshore and Westwood combined. So
Oh
that was
Exactly.
yeah,
pretty much the same way. Okay, so
It
yeah,
was
that
yeah.
makes
all the
more sense.
same year.
That was
It was
Right.
all the
all the
same year,
same year.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
So did you go off to school or you just went straight to cosmetology?
I went straight to cosmetology. I played around at Georgia State for 1 quarter. My mom wanted me to go to college. If you lived in her house, you had to go to college.
Uh-huh.
So I played around for 1 quarter, and I sat in that class, and I said to myself, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this to her money. Let me let her know right now, this ain't it." So let me tell this lady I'm not going to college. But I had worked in salons previously, and was working in a salon when I was in college. So she shouldn't have been too surprised because I
Right.
was making too much money as an assistant. I wasn't about to sit in a classroom. I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing this."
Yes, yes. Atlanta Tech.
No, I went to Dimples Beauty College off of
Who?
Hersh Dimples D.
I
Dimples.
remember
Yep, Dimples
dimples.
Beauty College. It was off
Okay.
of Herschel Road. Yes.
Okay. I
So
don't think I've ever heard of Dimples.
Yeah.
uh, I'm not surprised, and I'll just move on from there.
It was on Hershey Road.
I'm gonna
I,
leave it alone.
I'll just move on from there.
Okay. Well, Dimples got you your license. You went to
Yeah.
state board,
Yes.
and
Got me
you
where I
ended
needed
up
to be.
you
What
ended
what
up
happened?
in the
Well,
salon.
actually, what happened is I ended up going to cosmetology school about 3 years after graduating high school. I didn't go right away.
Okay.
But I had this idea that I knew more than everybody because I had worked in the salon for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to cosmetology school. I probably attended for about 9 months. I didn't have many hours left to get, but then I ended up getting the remaining hours as an apprentice
Okay.
under a hairstylist in the salon.
Okay.
So I went to cosmetology school like, I'm not about to sit and listen to this theory. I already know all of this. I'm doing all of this. So I was doing, you know how we used to do it. I was doing
Mm-hmm.
hair by that time illegally in the salon. But
Exactly.
I was so much much further along than my counterparts of the other students because I had worked in the salon and had so much experience. So
Mm-hmm.
on those days, on Saturdays, she would let me just not attend, not do clients on Saturday in cosmetology school. I'd go to the salon. So
So
it was that kind of establishment.
I,
She let me just go to the salon.
I
Go make your money. Go make your
Right.
money.
So I had about 3 more months to go, and then I just apprenticed under somebody's license, and then thank goodness passing the state board was a breeze.
well, that's good
Hmm.
because I sometimes I don't think some people teach what the state board talks about because we all know the state board really don't teach you about hair. It's not about hair. It's all about sanitary
Sanitation.
sanitation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know what
That's
you mean.
it.
Yes, and you
Yeah,
are. I'm sure it's worse now with
I'm
COVID.
pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I'm sure
Mm.
it's worse now.
Yes. So, we love our industry, and we have definitely, as three vets in the industry, have seen it change
Yes.
over the years. I saw a video the other day of this girl. Her name is Shay something,
She
but she made
wrapped
this little
together.
rap song
I
about how
saw
it
that.
used
I
to be.
love that
Oh
though,
my God,
and it brought back so many memories, right,
it did.
of the way salons used to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it brought back so many memories. I love that. I saw
yeah.
that.
It was so crazy. My girl was interviewing three stylists here in Atlanta for Black History Month, and it was a one young girl on there, and I was looking at the show, and she was like, I've been doing hair for only 2 years and I'm dominating. And I'm just like, we never like looked at it as a big old competitive until you was at the Bronner Brothers show.
Oh yeah,
You
exactly.
you just did hair. You worried about the quality of stuff that you could do, even if you sat in there all day.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a huge, I didn't feel that it was a huge competition. It was, you either did the stacks back in the day and you're gonna go and you're gonna wait, or then when I started coming out and doing hair, I was an assistant in Buckhead, so mine was totally different. Like, they didn't even do half of the stuff that we did on the west side out in Buckhead. It was just about blow and go, so I
Yeah.
just learned how to just like blow the hair and go. way before people was thinking about it. So it was never a competition for me. And now it's just like all these people are competing to have this many followers, this much going on.
That's,
This it's it's sickening to me. I'm sorry to say. It hurts my heart because they leaving out the connection that you make with your clients. You build that relationship. And
mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong, like I'm actually not regretting like the building of relationships, but you become a family and
That's
all
true.
this stuff become your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So not only
Mm-hmm.
do we have someone to pass away in the salon, we had a client lose her husband and then a client lose her son. So it was like all emotional for the whole week. Like it's just been crazy. But you take those time, those were the things that were implemented into like building a clientele. And I don't know, it's just so different now. What you think, CC?
It was more personable.
Yeah.
Very much so, like you said, when something happened to someone in the salon or who even just patronized the salon, everybody felt that sentiment. So I totally agree. As far as the competition, yeah, y'all know this is where the world is heading. This is where we are right now.
I think that's in every industry.
That I
Is
was
it?
just about to say, yeah,
Mhm.
it's technology. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that we're not going to get away from. So, and it could just be the sentiment of just loving on each other is not the same. Everything that we do it's a text. It's a text. It's not any personable communication as it used to be. So that takes away a lot of that. So I
I
totally
think
agree, Crystal.
I think another word that should be used is comparison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a lot of comparisons going
Yeah.
on. Like,
that's true.
there's someone that's straight out of high school that is comparing her, I mean, straight out of cosmetology school that's comparing herself to me that's been working in the salon for 20 years. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just a comparison. I think social media highlighted that. You didn't
Yeah.
you didn't see my struggle or you
That's
didn't
true.
see what I did to get there. You just see where I am and you think you automatically deserve that space, but you
Yeah.
haven't, seen you haven't been privileged to everything that I've gone through. So
Yeah.
I think the comparison is the problem.
Yeah. And
Because
you said it.
I'm
It's a,
speaking to people at cosmetology school and they are telling me, I'm thinking I'm mentoring to them and they're telling me they're going straight out of cosmetology school into a suite. And when I say, well, you can't really afford that yet, they said, oh, my dad, one student told me her dad paid for her suite for the year.
Yes.
So you have parents who are now involved in the comparison as well because they are looking at their hairstylist saying, I want my daughter to be just like the hairstylist, but not thinking, well, should she an intern under the hairstylist? Should she
Mm.
be mentored by the hairstylist? So I just think it's a big step missing. And they
it
are
is.
privileged, a lot more privileged than we are or we
Yes.
were. And so they get, and I'm guilty of it too as a parent. Of course, I don't
Oh
want
yeah.
my daughter to go through what I went through. So I did some things that may have, cut corners for her, and she didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to have certain struggles that I had to have. But sometimes in certain businesses, it's just not healthy. But I'm
Yeah.
hearing it in every industry.
It is. It is definitely what you said. This group of kids, including my own, are the privileged generation. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we have as much as we wanted, and this doesn't go for everybody. Y'all know it's like a majority, and there is some that excluded, but we have
Yes.
raised a spoiled generation that do not know how to cope without us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
They are I use the the vision of us keep cutting their cross off. Like you just said, I didn't want my daughter to struggle like I did.
Mm-hmm.
So when she gets to a point, we just cut her cross off a little bit. And then she gets to a next point, or my son gets to a next point, and we be like, well, I don't want him to be just like that. And we kind of cut their cross off. But when they get to this big gap, this big cliff that they're going to need that full cross, they don't know they don't even have enough to go by or to have experience or what was that I used to say? They were not equipped for adversity.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Facts.
definitely.
They are not equipped for adversity. They are just like, my cell phone is broken. And what do? Well, let me go
Go
call
buy
the
another one.
insurance and we'll get it
Yeah,
tomorrow. Like we never let them go without.
yeah,
These kids
Facts.
are asking for sushi, and we used to be so excited about McDonald's.
yeah. Exactly,
Facts.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
so
And
it's
we consider it exposure, but it's sometimes, it's hindering them as well. But I see that definitely in the industry
yeah,
where, we had, when I went to a salon as a younger hairstylist, there was a hairstylist that was older than me that prepared me for what I was
Right.
going through. She was able to give me advice. I
yes.
was able to watch how she talked to her clients, how she handled her clients, how
Hmm.
she professionally handled her business. So it's just no, if any rule goes, you make up your own rules because you hadn't been exposed.
Yeah,
You didn't know. I do commend this generation though for setting boundaries. I think they did better than us in
yeah,
regards
they
to
definitely did.
boundaries with clients. But I do think that it's a big gap, like you spoke of earlier.
Yeah, and I commend them too on having the confidence to think that they can,
Hmm.
Exactly.
because that's what I do like about them. They do have the confidence, and some are out here coming out the game killing it with and
Yeah.
without license. They're figuring out the marketing strategy. They're figuring
Hmm.
out. It has nothing to do with clientele. It has everything to do with the dollar sign.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Marketing.
yeah,
And
and
sometimes we were so good, but we didn't have the courage.
we didn't have the
So
courage.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
we
think
didn't.
I do commend them on that. I do like that. They are not
Yes.
afraid. Gen
Yeah, they're
Z,
not afraid of anything.
Gen Z with their bonnets and their eyelashes, they killing
They killing it. They kill.
And guess what?
They
And
coming
whatever
for
they
your
do,
spot, Dee Dee. They coming for you.
whatever they do, they're doing it well. Like, and the thing about it is, it's marketing to me. That I see so much into marketing. As whereas, and I'm not as old in the industry as you all. I'm only 14 years in the game, but I do remember, going into a salon and being able to get service and getting everything done while you were in that salon. Where now they can just do well with, slaying a wig.
Hmm.
And theory is not even anything that's conversated about. So you're going in just getting a wig on, and you're not getting any type of education on your real hair. You're not getting any education on what to do outside of this 1 week. Only thing is, okay, once you get a little moisture on it, it starts to come back. You come back or you take it off. And there's not a lot of education in it. So they're excellent with marketing. They're very well with marketing, and that marketing piece with social media, it's killing it. It's killing
Yeah,
it for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely see a lot of bad, but it is some good out there that could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
admired or looked up to. They
It
are
is
doing some
definitely
things.
some good. It was
Yeah.
speaking of another video that I saw just recently, and the girl came out crying saying, I went in and I got a silk press and this is what I came out with. And she looked like a rock star. So, me, I always go to the comments just to see what people are saying. So all the customers are busting out laughing, but all the stylists was like, baby, that's all you brought us. What do
That's
you
it.
want us to do? Like, stop coming to us thinking we supposed to bring miracles like the rest of these people on social media.
Mm.
Some guy said, you meant to ask for not a silk press, but micro links. Like, and y'all know how it is. Like, these people come to the salon and they get so attached to something they seen on social media, and they tell
Yes.
you, can you do it like that?
But
I'm like,
this generation will never say no. I think this generation will say, "Yep, I can do it," and give
They'll
it they
figure it out.
all. And it might not be right. Like I say,
listen.
it's much more courage than we had.
Yes, it's still because I'm just more upfront. I'm just gonna tell you, baby, them 5 strands are not gonna get that. You not gonna get that. That's we can put some pieces in there, but you're not gonna get that with your real hair. So
Right,
at all.
right.
But yes, but one thing about it though, they can't take me from this industry for whatever reason. I'm trying to like thinking I want to leave, but I absolutely love making people feel good about themselves. I see
Mhm.
still to this day, someone can get out of my chair. And I've seen even in your chair behind the movie scenes, which you're getting ready to jump in, that this woman was crying because she hadn't felt like that in a long time. Let's talk about you switching over to the movie scene, and how is that to be able to tackle someone who just, you made her feel good sitting in that chair.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Yeah, the one that's on she was in the chair and you were doing her makeup. Oh no, wait. She was on Jimmy, was it Jimmy
oh,
Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel, yes, that was
And
Danielle
she started
Deadweiler.
singing. But she
Yes,
was just
yes.
saying, how she called out your name and just telling you how beautiful you made her feel. And she started singing to y'all.
Yes, that was a running joke on the movie Teal. So
Oh,
yeah. She said she entertained us when we were sad and heavy, and she was the one with all of the
oh,
hard, tough scenes. So
oh
she would
wow.
but she would entertain us in between set or in between takes. But yeah, I really how I got in the industry
Yes.
is a friend of mine who I went on to do hair in the salon, and she went on to New York to do theater.
Okay.
And so we, both had gone to cosmetology school. We both are licensed at this point, but she had never really worked in the salon. I worked in the salon. She was mostly doing Broadway theater and film. And so she contacted me and asked me if I would help her do a couple of days. And she said, I don't want to insult you, but would you mind assisting me on a project I'm doing? And I was like, sure, I'll give it a try. Gave it a try. Didn't like it at first. At first, it was just like, that ain't it. Because in that industry, in that world, we were used to being in charge of our own space.
Mm-hmm.
And you are definitely, I wouldn't say it's corporate, but you are definitely under the leadership and guidelines of directors, producers, writers, people who
Mm-hmm.
are who have the money behind these projects. So
Yes.
you're listening to them. They're giving you all the direction. So I would say I didn't like it initially. But then when I got the opportunity to do some projects where I was able to create characters or build looks around characters and the history of characters, then that's when I started loving it, because you have this opportunity for somebody to give you this story, and you have a responsibility to make that story read through hair. So that became, something that I enjoy doing a lot. So, I've been in the industry now for 13 years, but I did it part-time for 8 of those 13 years. I would juggle the salon and the business,
Okay.
because the business is very tough for families. If you are in that business, you're working 16 to 22 hours. I've worked before 22 hours. I've had that on my paycheck, a 22-hour day. So you're working
Wow.
22 hours. I would say 14 to 16 is the average, but you're working those hours. It's kind of hard for you to be a present parent.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I wanted to do it part-time, and I didn't want to, actually do it full-time yet until my daughter graduated. So
Okay.
once she graduated from high school, then I dived deep into it. So now I left the salon in 2018, but I juggled both for about 8 of those years. Just trying to, kind of network with people, get to know people. And, I knew 4 or 5 years in, I said, as soon as she graduates, I will be leaving the salon, because again, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't set those boundaries
Uh-huh.
that
Mm-hmm.
I see this younger generation set. So I was just ready to leave. I was running from clients. I can't lie. I love hair. I
Mm-hmm.
really, really enjoy hair. And I think CiCi, you and I had a couple of conversations about it before. Crystal, you and I talked about it too. But I loved hair, but it was the boundaries that I didn't set. If I had I as a coach and mentor in the business, I advise people to set those boundaries. Set them early so that you won't get burnt out. I definitely
Yes.
always say set boundaries. If it's a hairstyle that you don't do it. If it
Exactly.
doesn't bring you joy, do not do it. And I was so busy making all these clients happy as opposed to making myself happy. Ideally, the ideal clientele would have been color and cuts.
Gotcha.
That would have been my clientele. But I did
Sounds
colors.
like me.
Yes, colors, cuts, weaves. I was doing everything because I was just making them happy as opposed to making myself happy. And it got to a
Right.
point where I had to tell some people, no, I can't do your hair anymore, because it just wasn't bringing me any fulfillment. So by the time I left the salon, I was running.
I feel you. I
Yeah,
definitely feel
I
you.
was running from the salon.
I actually live by that, Dee Dee. Like, I teach other people also. Like, I'm only down to 3 days in the salon.
Mm-hmm.
I do not answer a text or a phone call or anything on Sunday and Mondays about hair. I don't care how close we are. We better not be out at drinks and you ask me about hair.
Yeah.
Like, I set those boundaries
Boundaries.
so much. And like you said, we have to set those boundaries because people, for some reason, they think we just do hair.
And
And
we do love hair that much,
yeah,
but we
Yes.
don't want to talk about hair
all
on
the
our
time.
off days.
No.
And a lot of my clients became, over the years, you're talking about
Friends.
30 years, they became friends and
Mm-hmm.
like family. So I love them, so I would hang out with them and then we'd be out and I'm giving consultations and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
no.
So I was
Mm-mm.
running by the time I left. So I always encourage people, please set boundaries. Make
Yes.
sure that you stick and that's in every part of your life. I think
Yes.
that
Yes.
generation is about more self-care than I was when I was in the salon years ago. So, set those boundaries. Make sure that you
Yeah.
control your space and control your environment.
Yes. You got a
Great
question?
point. Great point. Great point, Dee Dee. So you answered our very next question, as far as what kind of drove you to going, away from behind the chair to going full time. But let me ask you this. I remember just being a parent in corporate America, making that decision like upon your baby graduating from high school, when you decide to make that decision to go full time, even though, a lot of times we think that it's easier that our kids are moving on to the next level of life, was that still very tough for you? Because I know college still requires a lot from parents.
No, I knew I had already said for about 3 years to myself. I didn't even share it with anybody else. I got 3 more years. I was counting down. I got 2 more years. I got 1 more year. So once she graduated, it was just like because it was about being able to be active, being able
Gotcha.
to be present for any school activities. It was more so
Gotcha.
about that then. And by the time they became a senior in high school, she didn't even want me to come to the school anymore. So I was really just doing that for myself and not for her.
Right.
It was like, and I was the volunteer parent and the person going up to the school. And she's like, well, could you just volunteer in the office? So by the time she was a senior in high school, she didn't even see me at school. I was just at the school for the teacher.
For the teacher. Yes.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
major.
Someone just asked me about like, what's your topic gonna be tonight? And I was telling them, and they was like, well, did you want to do movies? I was like, well, Crystal is a very control freak, and I don't know if I want to be on anybody's schedule.
Girl, my call time tomorrow morning is, I think, 6 a.m.
Well, see, I'm a 6 a.m. worker. I'll
And
go in.
that's late.
Yeah, and
That's
that's what
late.
I was going to say. That's usually kind of late for
Mhm.
the set.
Yeah, the first day of the week, and we were off today, but the first day of the week it usually is between 4 and 6 a.m.
Wow.
So that means you're driving an hour away. So I'm driving an hour away. I have to be there at 7. So my alarm clock has to be set at 5 a.m. in the morning for 7 o'clock. So now I get up naturally.
Uh-huh.
We're not going to even get on the subject of, menopause and waking up and insomnia and all that.
Yes.
But I get up naturally early. But
Mhm.
I didn't want my feet to hit the ground at 4 a.m. in the morning.
I get it. I get it.
So,
Me and CiCi are early birds when it comes to the salon.
I was about to ask, Dee Dee, were you working early, like behind the chair at all?
I did. My
Okay.
first one on Saturdays was at 6 a.m. on Saturdays. And during the week, I think my first one was at 8 o'clock. So not too early, but, it was pretty early.
Okay.
I had a lot of evening clients. That was another thing. If I could have done it over again,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been in that salon until 9 and 10 o'clock at night. No. But, it's a trade-off with everything. And and I don't want to, complain so much for those who may be watching, because there's a trade-off in life. With everything, you have to give something. So, the years in the salon, they were good to me. I cannot complain. I had a very large clientele. My clientele was large for most of my career. I never really had a lot of slow days, thank goodness. But the salon was good to me. So I don't want to kill the salon, but it was
Right.
just more about boundaries for me. Because I will say this. I left the salon and I traded my body because I did so many clients a day. But
Mm.
now I'm trading my time because now I'm working 50 to 60 hours a week
Wow. So
on a
tell us
project.
about that, like being behind the scene. Can you talk about some of the movies you worked on? And
Oh,
also,
yeah.
congratulations on your nominee.
Hey,
Thank you. Thank
congrats.
you. Yes, I was nominated for the NAACP Awards for Teal. So that's a proud moment. And because I wasn't full time in the business, I cannot say that it is easy for me in this is challenging. This is a new world for me. So I'm still trying to get used to supervising productions or supervising a TV show or supervising it. That doesn't come easy for me
Okay.
because it's a lot more than doing hair. You know, you got personalities, you have to manage people, you have to now the good thing about it, the skill I took from the salon is we worked with a lot of people when we worked in the salon. So you work next to people you didn't like and you had to get along with them.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
you learn. So that's a skill that I think helps me in the business. I work next to people. Everybody is still good morning. Everybody is still hello. You know, it's a few people that I've run into. You know, they'll come in the trailer in the morning and won't even speak. I know how to read a room. You know, those are things that we learn in the
In the
salon, right?
salon. Yes.
Yeah, I know how to read a room. If the actor doesn't feel like talking, that works for me. You
Yes.
know, if she feels like talking, I can give her a counseling session. If she
Yeah.
needs some therapy, I got that too.
You
So
know we
that,
got all the hats.
yeah. So that works.
Okay.
That skill I took from the salon into the movie industry. But it's not easy for me. I'm still getting it. I'm still learning. I like I said, was nominated for Teal, and prior to Teal, I did The Last Days of Tyler McGray. I have a new project that's coming out where our personal Dominique Fishback. It's an Amazon series on called Swarm.
Okay.
So got some projects coming out. So and I've been blessed. I've worked on a lot of good projects. I day played. When I was working part time, I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of great women, Black sisters. Well, I can't even say that. A lot of great women because one of my mentees, she's Hispanic, one of them is white. So um, I've met some great women that were willing to share things. Like I told
Wow.
you
Good.
earlier about my girlfriend who introduced me to the industry. She's been a mentee that has been giving me all the tips and the advice over the years. And I've worked with other people, I've met other people along the way, and they've given me advice and information too. But that the one thing I can say, the salon prepared me for all of this because I listened to older hairstylists, and in this
Mm-hmm.
business, I'm listening to older hairstylists that have been doing it longer than me. And you don't have to tell me but one time.
Mhm.
And tell me what you went through that you didn't want to go through, and I got it. I'm taking notes. I'm writing it
Right.
down. So I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of mentees in the business.
Okay.
Um, that have helped me along the way. And I try my best to do the same thing. It's a little tough sometimes with the younger generation because, again, they come from the salon and they think they're going to take the business by storm. But that business is so much more than doing hair. That business is so much more about it's so much more than just, how you do an actress's
Mhm.
hair. It's more about how you communicate, how you make them feel, if they're comfortable with you. Knowing again how to read a room. If they don't feel like talking, if they do feel like talking, it's about being professional enough to talk to directors and, you know, being big enough to know when to play small.
Okay. That
Because
was
this is an industry where you're not in charge.
that was
It's just
huge.
it's just you are one small element to a huge
Production.
picture
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or a huge community of different people. You got costumes, you have makeup, you have the writers, you have the directors, you have the producers, you have the people that have the money. So you have all of these people coming together. So I had to really learn how to, even if I knew more, just knowing just how to chill and just listen to people and take
What
their
was that
advice.
statement you just said? Learning how to be.
I had to. You have to be big enough to know when to play small.
That's right.
Yes. That's that's
So,
that's a good motto that a lot of people should definitely
yeah,
learn by. I think that's something that even the younger people, and even some older
Mm-hmm.
people, they need to learn how to be able to be small. Like, and it's nothing wrong. Like, you took that step by saying, I can be an assistant. You've
yeah,
been doing hair since you left high school.
yeah.
You could be an assistant. And I can remember being out in Arizona, Scottsdale, with this guy, Mazel. And honey, I was happy to hold his foils.
Yeah,
I was like, Mazel was killing it. I was just like, can I be a foil holder?
yeah, yeah,
Because I mean, you learn so much from other people when you I don't want to say dummy down, but when you make yourself small
Yeah.
yeah.
in that place, yeah,
And
you do.
now it's been some situations where I felt like I had to play so small I was almost invisible. That was the next step, and those
Mm-hmm.
were roles that I stepped away from very quickly. So
Okay.
there there are some parameters
Okay.
that I
Mm-mm.
will stay in. I'm not going to change who I am to make somebody feel good. Um, I have always been blessed to be vocal and be honest with people. I can be straight up with people, and so some people can't accept that. So I'm learning to maneuver around those who accept it, and God has blessed me enough to be in a circle of people who appreciate
I just had that prayer.
it.
our, our our camp last night was we were it was talking about the maturity in Christ, and I'm like, yeah, God has to give me the maturity to not be how I used to be in certain situations, to say what I want to say, and I'm learning how to, you know, just skirt some of my comments, but still being Crystal. That's the one thing about it, is still being your authentic self. Like, I can't run from that, and I'm a straight shoot from the hip. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I go back and say, could I have done it different? I'm pretty sure you deal with that,
Oh yeah,
being
I've
behind the
had to
scenes.
go back and apologize for saying something a certain way, but again,
Hmm.
that's knowing when to play small. It's not that big. Take my ego out of it and just do what I need to do to make it work. Um, it's a lot of ego in the production industry. So
I can
I try
imagine.
my best not to get caught up in it. Sometimes it's somebody that's but I do good. I don't bring College Park out. I just, sometimes you just have to take it like a champ, you know.
Listen, little bankhead definitely understand.
What she say is just how you align your words. It's all about how you align your words. Just
Yes.
being able to be clear when you
Mhm.
speak. And that's even in the salon. I mean, still, Crystal, such as your salon, it's still open. You're still in a
Yeah,
full salon. So you have to be mindful of what you say to people, because you praise in public and you reprimand in private. And sometimes we don't realize some of the things we may say, maybe
Yeah.
reprimanding
yeah.
people.
Um,
So
since you said that, CiCi, I'm gonna ask Dee Dee, is there a difference? Okay, so being in the salon, I have barbers in there too. People act really different towards men. Like, their whole attitude, I can't say the same thing that a man would say.
Oh no,
It'll
it's the
come
same
off
way. It's the
totally
same
different.
way. It's the
I
same
will be
way.
the bitch of the salon, and he will be well, that's just how he is. Is it that way behind the scene?
It is definitely behind the
yikes.
same way in the production world. But again, I think that's every industry.
I think
Because
it's
I'm
every
hearing that
industry.
from all of my girlfriends who are, execs and stuff. They deal with the same thing. If a man says something, they are considered. I've advised so many female actresses
Wow.
on this, that you might as well say what you, because you're trying to be nice and trying to you might as well say, because if you say anything, you're going to be a bitch anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this public?
No, you're
You
fine.
good. You good.
Okay. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Forgive me, all the first ladies of the church. I'm
They
sorry.
probably said it too.
Okay. But either way, they're going to look at you as, being a grouch. So you might as well just give your opinion, because they've already made an opinion about you anyway. I've
Wow.
advised so many actresses on that.
Wow.
And if we as Black women, we're a little assertive with our voices, so they really, really are, intimidated sometimes by if she doesn't say it soft enough, or if she doesn't say it, calm enough, or how was her expression? Stop looking at my face. Just listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. But
okay,
no.
Chris Tucker.
Yes, right. But no, it is. I think that's an issue that we as women are going to have to deal with regardless.
Yeah.
And
I saw
could
that
be
on
wrong, but it just seems like that's just a woman thing.
Yeah, it is. I saw it on the WNBA, and the girl was like, came down on another player and like stood over and was like, "Look," and they was like, "That is just so uncalled for." She was like, "But all the men do it all the time.
All
like,
the time.
That's a basketball."
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Why do I have to dummy myself down?" And it's just like you said, it's gonna be across the board.
Yeah.
I got clients that are principals who say, the whole staff act different when there's a male principal involved. So I don't know. It's just society, and the crazy part is it's always the women that act towards the women.
Now I do experience that as well.
Yes.
I have experienced that as well.
Yeah, it's a crazy world when it comes to the gender, but hey, I guess you learn how to skirt, but not. And like you said, you might as well go ahead and say what you're gonna say, because they're gonna look at you some kind of way anyway.
Anyway. So you either. I just ask God to please always keep people around me that accept me for me, that I can be me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to just like play a certain role for a certain group of people. I want people to accept me, because it's too exhausting trying to be somebody else.
Oh, yes.
It's too exhausting.
Say that again.
Yeah. So if it's somebody, like I told you, I was in a role where I almost had to be invisible. I was so small. I promised myself I would not play in that playground anymore. I'm not doing that.
I was reading one of the statements on my page, and the guy was saying he respects us as professional stylists. He views us as dentists and doctors and other people in the healthcare professional, as well as psychologists. Some people forget to realize that any work on the body can affect your mind and body. Yes. With this in mind, it does take proper knowledge and training to be good and effective at your craft. And I think that's something that, as stylists, that's where my value comes in at. And I try to teach people to understand your value, because we aren't just hairstylists. Like, here you are behind the scene with a celebrity. She could be brand new, first time, or a vet, and she could still be going through some stuff. And it only just takes us to be that listening ear. And when you have that connection with God, God gives you that spiritual moment. For me, as I mature in this industry, my connection with God, just sometimes I'm just praying over the person before I even open my mouth, just listening to them. And I'm also praying that everything that they're going through just don't sit on me and get heavy. Yes. I'm like, God, this ain't my fight.
Yeah.
But I'm here. Use me as a vessel. So use me however you want to use me. And I talk about that a lot, how people devalued us or talked bad about people getting their hair done during COVID. And I was like, that was such a mental thing. You missed it. These women were struggling. Yes. And I could only imagine behind the scene when y'all just had to stop production all at once.
Oh yeah, no, it was
Tell
people.
Me how that happened. How did that
it was actresses and actors who they left their families to come to Georgia, and Georgia was one of the places that was wide open
Right.
compared to other states. So they were very nervous about filming here. So, I had to do things, and me and the other stylists, we had to do things to make them feel comfortable because we were so close to them. I think we were the closest people to them as hairstylists and makeup artists. So we were considered, we're still considered Zone A. And Zone A are the people that come in direct contact with the actors. So it was a lot of pressure on us. They were nervous, and all was forgiven because it was certain situations where people were just so paranoid it affected
Right.
everything. So just like you said, it was a mental situation. So it affected how they reacted and acted, and so you had to kind of forgive some things because they were paranoid. You had mommies that were here and she had to work and she got her babies at home, and somebody's taking care of her babies, and she got to think about if I get COVID while I'm in these Georgia streets. So it definitely affected the production industry as well.
Yes. CiCi,
Wow.
can you see that question?
I'm
On
actually
Instagram?
trying to roll it up now. I just see that's right. I don't see any other questions coming through on my side, Crystal.
On IG.
I'm looking at IG. Mm-mm.
I see one. How do you stay on the up and up in the film industry with the new trends in hair?
Now that's a challenge because sometimes you can't. Because if I'm doing a period film, I have to definitely stay within that period.
Yes.
Or I'm doing a project now for Apple, and you are being instructed. The writers have a vision for that character, and sometimes they're telling you exactly how they want that character to look, and so you have to get their approval. So sometimes that's one of the things I do miss. That's one of the things that some people don't like about that business or that side of the business, because you kind of lose your creativity sometimes. But then you get on a project. I was on a project maybe about 4 weeks ago, and all of the looks were avant-garde. So you have that moment too, where you get to be creative.
Gotcha.
I will say, there are a lot of people that are in the business or want to be in the business, and they want to be in the trailer. Working on background actors is where you get a chance to really, do some creative things. And it's usually those main actors that you don't have that freedom to go so far. Because,
that was a big thing to learn. Like you have more freedom with the people that are in the background as opposed to the main star. It has to be very specific. And probably every time that you come back, you got to remember to do that same thing.
Continuity. Exactly. Okay. So you're repeating the same thing. The show that I'm on now, I'm probably going to do on this particular actor the same hairstyle every day she works for the next 4 weeks.
Okay.
So some people, they don't like that. And I get it. That could be a little boring for people. I know some freelance artists that are in the business. They say, oh, no, I would never go and work on set. So for some people, that could be frustrating. But you have those moments, like, Teal, where I get to build a character, based off a historic figure. Or you have, the project I mentioned 4 weeks ago where I got the opportunity to create. It was an avant-garde look. But yes, the main characters, it's 1954. He does not want to get his afro cut. So
So let me ask you this, Dee Dee. So have there been like a time where if you've done someone here and the production team just didn't agree with the look that you actually presented? How does that go? Like we deal with that in the salon too.
Yes, definitely. I can say that that's going on now currently because it's a show where it's a small town and the town is like 1,800 people. So I'm trying to do fly stuff. And the writer is like, no. It's 1,800 people in this town. I need you to calm that down. So you get excited, you have your lookbooks and you want to do all of this, and they're like, no. But they have to, and that's what I was talking about earlier. You have to be big enough to know when to play small.
Yeah.
Like it's not, I have to know that he knows something more. And sometimes I've been in situations where they were wrong. And I still saw it on screen and say, I still should have did it that way. But it's not your call.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So it is a collaboration of, okay, so you get a script, you know what you want the person to look like, but is that something that's planned out? Is that something that y'all show up today and look, this is what you're gonna do today? How is that typically worked out for you all?
Well, you got it almost right. You get a script, they give you the script, you read it. But
Gotcha.
then there are things that you want to get information that I get from the writers, and I'll ask the writer, so tell me a little bit about her background. Tell
Gotcha.
me where she was from. Did she, is she affluent? How much money did she make on her job? Is she poor? Is she, does she live in Buckhead or does she live off Bankhead?
Okay.
What's the background scene going to look like? So you take all of those things into consideration when you're building a character's look. So it would make sense, because you've seen a show where someone is in the jungle fighting, but you could tell she got a nice wand curl. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Or they keep refreshing her lipstick and she's in the rain.
Yeah.
Or her hair is not falling and she's in the rain. So it's we've seen it where it just doesn't make sense. So
Gotcha.
I have to do things to make that build that character around that story.
Cool. Tell us about this union and how hard it is to get into this union.
Yeah. So it's called 798 IATSE 798 Makeup and Hair Union. And so they can go to 79 I should know this by heart, but it's 798.net, I believe it is.
Okay.
Nadia, do me a favor. I see Nadia, one of my peers in the industry. Can you put it in the comments, the union website, please? But then there's a link where it says how to join the union. Mm-hmm. So you have to have a certain amount of days.
Okay.
I think that's 180 days. And it's
on a
set. Yes, on a set. And it's so weird because you're not union and they tell you they don't want you to work on set, but you got to work on set to get the 180 days.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a little different. It's definitely a lot of networking. So you have to network with people. It is okay for all the viewers that are watching. If you see somebody that's in the film industry, it's definitely okay to shoot them a DM. Or if you have somebody's number and they're in the business, it's definitely okay to say, hey, if you ever have some days, please feel free to reach out to me. It's totally appropriate to do that. Nadia says it's local798.net.
Gotcha.
So www.798.net. So local798.net. So it's definitely okay to reach out to people that and you ask them if they have days to get those days. And you just have to basically go there, give it your all, but don't overdo it.
Gotcha.
Be yourself, but definitely be conscious of how to read a room. And be the type of hairstylist or makeup artist. You're not going to take that industry by storm. Mm-hmm. You are a guest. And I see that a lot where people come out of the salon and they are like, oh, I'm a great hairstylist. Again, it takes so much more than doing hair in that industry. It has nothing to do, whether you can do the baddest one curl on a wig or what, it has nothing to do with that. Because you might be doing police officers that day. So that's not, that might not be what you're doing. It might not be pretty hair. What if it's a church scene and the church scene is in Mississippi and it's 30 degrees outside and it's 1978? They don't have air conditioners. Ooh. So you have to think about all of these things. It's so much more than so I see it all the time. They come and they're like, and believe it or not, the people in the industry, they see it as well. Mm-hmm. So I always feel sorry for my girl who came and she just thought this was my opportunity to shine. And she had to take all the makeup off. Ooh. Because that wasn't what the character was supposed to have, so pay attention, take notes. Mm-hmm. Look around you at what other people are using, what products other people are using. Look around to see how they act. Don't click, no clicks in the industry. If you get involved in clicks, it'll take you too long to make it. Wow. Get you a core group of people and they might be in different spaces. Ask people when you get the opportunity to day play and you're day playing behind the scenes, you ask them, say, is it okay if I get your IG, or is it okay if I follow you on social media? Stay connected to those people. If you sit with, like, say you get on set and you're working in background and it's 20 hairstylists that are in background, and you know these two people over there. If you sit with these two people all day, you lost.
Yeah.
You got to get to know the people around you and work the room. You have to meet people because it's a networking. Because I've been in the business now for 13 years. When I leave this set, my project ends in May. By April, I am texting people saying, hey, my project ends on May 4th. I don't remember what day, but I'm just going to give you an example. My project ends on May 4th. I need May 4th. If you have some days, please consider me. So I'm still, after all of these years, you still have to connect with people. Right. I've told people that are trying to get in the industry to just text people. And I've had one person tell me, she said, oh, I feel like I'm begging when I have to text people, and because sometimes they don't reply. We have worked 18 hours. You might have texted me and I got off at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get your text until 6 o'clock that evening. You've totally, in your head, said that I was disregarding you just because I didn't respond, but you don't even know the circumstances of which I'm dealing with. Right. You know, I got off at 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to be at work at 6. I woke up late. I'm running late. Because you got, if you're on time in that industry, you're late. You got to be 15 minutes early to work. So I'm running, trying to get there. I forgot to respond to your text. So I might not see your text or think about your text until the next time you text me. Right. So, you know, you got it. Don't take things personal. You are on a mission. It's totally appropriate to text somebody maybe every 4 weeks or every 8 weeks. You decide depending on the relationship. If it's somebody you don't know, I would say every 8 weeks. If it's somebody that you know, that they know you by your name or they know your number when it comes up, I would say 4 weeks. Please keep me in mind. Think about me if you have some extra days. I'd like to get a few days, but take your feelings out of it. Because this business, it has nothing to do with that. You have to be able to network with people, and you can't take things personally.
That sounds truly corporate America. That sounds truly corporate America. Sounds just like corporate America.
Yeah, don't take things personally.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if I'm be able to do that.
Get your feelings out of it, Crystal.
I was in the military for 9 years, so I know what corporate on that side is like. And it's like you said, it's all the way across the board. And I think we are being an entrepreneur in the hair industry. We have way more freedom, and sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah. Because I have to even organize my free days, quote unquote, what people think of my off days. I have to organize those days so I can stay on track with other stuff that I have to do. But, you know, before somebody called me and I'm off them, you want to go to brunch or lunch? And I'm like, yeah, let's go, because I got time. But but that being in that realm, I know you were saying like waiting for your kids. So I was like, at first I was like, no, I don't want to jump into it. I have my son. And now it's just like, I don't know if it's something I want to do. It's not that I fear it. I would tell people what you said recently. Look at TVs and movies. Every hairstyle is not glamorous. You have all the different looks. You have the old lady look. You have the police officer. You have the person that's gonna look like they've been swimming. So you don't have to do. I used to always say people behind the movie scene really don't do hair because they not really doing hair. Like
they're not doing glamorous hair.
Right. It doesn't have to be this glamorous thing because it's all different. And not even the knock. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say some names, but some of the shows that we would watch, they would do like these fake cornrows and stuff. And some of the wigs, I'm like, ooh, who was on that set?
Exactly. But it's a lot of details involved in that. Now, let me help my fellow IIC. On some sets, and I know which sets you're talking about, but on some of those sets, you have issues where there are some directors that will call last looks, and there are some directors that will not, because they're rushing. And unfortunately, if you're not assertive enough to say, I need a look, or that actor is looking bad, I would probably say he probably won't hire me, because I would have said that.
I got you.
You're not letting my work go out like this, because it's my reputation that's on the line.
Yes.
Not yours.
Yes.
So the hair is wrong. And even if he didn't listen to me that day, we'd have to have a sidebar conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of behind the scenes details. I've never even been told, but I know the work of those people. I know how those hairstylists, I know what kind of hair they do. And I know that they would not let that go out. So it could be did he keep the rehearsal?
Yeah.
The tape of the rehearsal.
Because I
did
think
he,
we talking about the same one.
Yeah, it's so many different circumstances it could have been.
Yeah.
It could have been he didn't hire the right person. Right. But I definitely know a few people that have worked for him, and their work is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I can't say it's that. I'm confident that it has nothing to do with their ability to do it. It's just a detail that we don't know. Was the actress late? Was the actor, did he give you time to do it? Did the actress go to lunch? And when she came back from lunch, she took a nap and you didn't get after lunch touches. It's a lot of details that people don't know. And I used to be very critical. Even for a long time when I wasn't doing the first team actors and I was working part-time, like I mentioned before. And so I'd be very critical about, oh, she could have did that better than that. But baby, when you get on that trailer,
it's a different bleed.
And camera is waiting, and the take that you hate, if you're not, I've been in the business long enough now, I'm confident enough to go to the script supervisor and say, hey, I see her lace on that last take. And I'll say that in front of the directors. I'll say that in front of producers and the writers. Some people didn't want to have that conversation in Video Village with scripting. But I'm confident enough to say, hey, take a note that I saw her lace on that last take. I can't say I had that confidence 6 years ago or 7 years ago in the industry. But now I do. So it's a lot of small details. But I give my fellow hairstylists and makeup artists a little bit of grace. Yes. Because I know what could have happened. Like I remember doing a project and the actress went to lunch and she had 2 braids. And she went to lunch and she had a neck pillow. And so she would sleep on her neck pillow, but it made her braids scrunch up.
Yeah.
So I didn't make it in. We're there and they're going to do a rehearsal. Mm-hmm. And they do the rehearsal, but the director at the last minute says, I want to keep that. It was a rehearsal. So I was going to wait until they called last look so I could go and straighten her hair out, but I didn't make it in. When I tell you they use that picture for every promo with them bent up braids on the side of her neck like that. And I didn't think to give that note to the scriptie because they said that was a rehearsal.
Oh, wow.
But then they decided to keep the rehearsal. I was so busy trying to straighten it out. Mm-hmm. I forgot about it and was still tripping like, I can't believe they filmed that. And I should have been over there talking to the script supervisor to tell her, hey, to make sure they don't keep that when they go back and edit. But they use that picture everywhere. So I give a little grace to people.
Well, in the end, they like it.
They liked it, but we know as hairstylists, it was wrong.
Yeah.
It was wrong. It was real wrong. I mean, they put it on posters, on ads. But there was nothing I can do. They loved it.
Nothing you can do. Mm-hmm. There's one more question. Now that you are being nominated, what do they look for when they nominate you?
I will say this. This is the first time I've ever been, because the publicists of the show, we submitted for a lot of award shows. The NAACP was just one of the ones that we actually were nominated. So I've learned a little bit having had this experience, and it was a great experience because, that was going back and forth to LA, and, you had Q&A. So it was a very good experience where you got to talk about, a lot of times you work hard and you don't get those accolades, or you don't get to express, how difficult it was. Teal was a very hard project for me. The heaviness of the storyline, as well as, I was in a supervisory position. And again, that's a little challenging for me in that world. But it's great to get the recognition for the hard work that you did. But I will tell you that you just never know what they're looking for. You can think that, I've seen it sometimes where the hair is just immaculate on some things in the past, and I'm like, it didn't get nominated. So you just think automatically, well, what happened? Did the person burn bridges? Did something happen? Sometimes I think that if you are getting in the realm of, I want to compete for different nominations or nods from different organizations, you have to be okay and accept that it can go any way. You never know which way it's going to go. Because it's some competitors, and you look at their work and it's like, okay, so why did they get nominated? Now you get nominated. So you have those feelings, but you just never know, because there are human beings that have opinions, and their opinions may be different from yours, and they are the ones that are selecting you to be nominated for those particular awards. So was it a group of older 70-year-old men? Was it a group of Black women? Was it a diverse group of people? It's so many things that are involved in that. So if you're going to compete, you definitely just have to be in a space like, however it's going to happen, God, that's what you wanted. That's what you want to happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I tell you, tonight you have opened up our eyes.
Yes.
Listen, I'm still trying to figure out if maybe you want an assistant. Let me just come one day and see.
Look, you have to be under somebody good like Dee Dee. Look.
Yeah, I gotta start off with somebody good like Dee Dee. I will hold your bobby pins. I'll hold whatever you need, your hairspray. Let me come and
we'll have to talk about that.
CiCi,
we'll see what she's working with when I get my call.
Yeah,
you know that one.
Listen, I'm pretty much free. Like, I'm free as bird. Just, that was the other thing of trying to, when you tried to finagle your clients. I know sometimes the call will be 12 to 22 hours, and then they were like, we gotta come back the next day and do the whole thing. But you got a whole book at the salon.
Now, what I did learn in that situation is I started booking Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I was on set. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was in the salon.
Well, because that's my schedule.
It was too stressful trying to move all of those people from Thursday to Wednesday, or from Wednesday to Friday, and then they canceled a day and you moved 20 people.
Yes.
And then you got to move them back, and then you gave away some money, or you worked, or you went to set and you were fine. You moved all these people over. You gave, spread them out. Some people coming next week. Some people not coming at all. Some people said, I'm going to get braids. And then you work, and you only work 8 hours. So if you had 20 people on the book, that didn't make sense, because you're going to make them a lot more than you made in 8 hours. So unless you get some overtime. So I always kept it consistent, and that helped with my clients. And in the summertime, when my daughter was away with her grandpa or with, family, then that's when I would work full time on a project. But I would only do it. They knew that I was going to take a project every summer.
I got you.
So everybody had their braids.
That's my schedule. My schedule is I'm free Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I got therapy at 12 on Monday, so let me get my therapy in so I don't kill nobody. I'm coming back down.
She said you got to be there at 4 o'clock.
I don't miss my therapy.
You got to be there at 4 o'clock. You ain't going to make that 12 o'clock therapy
Well, that's
session.
fine.
You got to move that therapy day.
Right.
Girl, I'll call you
right. Therapy on another day. Tell her you can do her on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I can. But that's my hours. I work in the salon Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you need me, I'm open to hold the bobby pins and the hairspray. I don't
Okay.
have to be in the trailer. I can do the background people wherever you need me. Try
Okay.
me out one time and let me
All
see
right.
if that's something I want to do.
Okay.
Jesus. But I appreciate you so much, Dee Dee, for coming in. I
Yes.
know this was your one day that
Yes.
you had to get
But
it in.
I couldn't miss it. I had to do
Thank
it for you and
you.
CC.
Yes. And
Thank
I
you.
couldn't
Thank you.
miss it
Thank
either.
you.
As much as I wanted to like take off, like being, mental, we don't do a lot of taking off and self-care for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And during grieving, I think we don't realize that it helps until you get in it. Like I
Ooh.
really wasn't feeling good when the show started. And now I just feel so much better because I'm talking to my sisters about something we love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it just amazed me how it just subsided the whole time that we've been talking. So I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you
Thank
for
you, Dee
showing
Dee.
up for
Thank
Oh,
us.
you.
you're welcome. I enjoyed it. If I can
Yes.
tell some your viewers about something that I'm doing,
Tell
it's
me.
called the Leading Beauty Industry Professionals Community.
Yes.
And what I am doing, it's a task reminder. Y'all know how I feel about business and how hairstylists need to take care of their business and run their
Yes.
businesses like it's an actual business.
Yes.
Well, this is a task reminder. If you needed help reminding you to pay your quarterly taxes, if you needed help, I am a task manager. So I just remind you of all the things you need to do to handle your business and run your business.
Well,
So
who would have
click the
thought?
link in my IG and check it out.
Okay.
And it's a
Definitely.
3-day trial, so you can try it out for 3 days and see how you like it.
Okay. That is
Okay.
awesome because you, like you said it, you were on point. So many people in this industry don't treat it like a business
They do not.
because they still have allowed everybody else to tell them that they just do hair, and
Mm-hmm.
then they don't feel like they're really a business. And I tell you, what you treat it like is what it's gonna pay you like.
Yeah,
Yep.
but we don't sit at desks, so it's easy. And
To
you
forget it.
work 12 hours and you're using your bodies. You're exhausted when you leave the salon. You do
Mm-hmm.
not want to be taking care of business when you leave the salon.
So
So in
true.
some instances, it's about just needing somebody, just that gentle reminder on Saturdays. Don't spend all your gross. Separate your money and spend your net. Put aside your money for your taxes this week. So it's a gentle reminder that, or business reminders that hairstylists and beauty professionals need.
I
And some people
loved
don't
it.
know. Some people just really don't even
They don't.
understand
Mm-hmm.
all of this. So
Yeah.
Yes.
excellent, excellent, Dee Dee. Excellent.
Well, I'm gonna bring you back in when you get another break so we can have a class on that, so
Okay.
we can promote
Most
that. I know we
definitely.
Okay.
did something. What do we have? We
During
don't boo. What was
oh
it?
what was it, Crystal? Oh my goodness.
I got my little blue t-shirt, baby.
Yes, I
When
can't remember
Obama
what
was
it
running for
was, but we
president.
were definitely pushing and helping. We did a lot. But the
Yeah.
beauty industry, we're so impactful. Like we
Yes,
mean a lot to our community.
Most
we do.
definitely.
We influence everything.
We do. And
Hmm.
I think people don't realize how important that is, like being even like in the, and I'm not gonna say in the white salons because they still, when I worked in one, they still wanted to know you don't talk about political and this. But in the black salon, you talked about everything, and that's how you
Everything.
Yeah.
kept everything going.
I
So when
think
people was
Obama
like
changed that for
separated,
every salon.
yeah, I'm like, we don't separate church and state, honey. We talk about the church, the politics, everything.
Now that's the one thing I miss about the salon. The
Yes.
camaraderie of the salon, the
Oh my
conversation.
God.
Yes,
I
yes,
love
I
it.
love that.
Yes, and I love it. I mean,
Oh.
CC is in a suite and they have their way of doing it, and no
Mm-hmm.
not to CC, but I'm such a talker. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know if I have my little energy would fit inside of just the suite without having all those people. It's 11 of us in there.
Oh
And
wow, yeah, that's a
yeah,
big
we
salon.
cut up and have a good time, but it's not drama.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not drama. So yeah.
Well,
I
you
worked
go
in the
door to door.
salon. Yeah,
You
I
go
worked
door
in
to door.
salon and I worked in a suite. And my suite experience was good. I just think the only problem with suites is our younger generation going straight to
Yes.
suites. But suites can be a good thing because
They
you
can.
have a small professional business inside your salon. Because sometimes, now people don't like to talk about it, but sometimes these salon owners they give you no choice but to go to a suite.
I get that part.
they give you no choice. You had no choice but to, lady, I can't deal with your crazy. I'm going by myself
Yes,
with my
yes,
clients. So I get
yes.
it both ways.
And then you get
That's
the
it.
opposite is the ones that think they really want a suite because you went up $25 because your rent on your building went up for the year. And
Mm-hmm.
they look, one guy told he was like, well, I need to figure out how I'm gonna make the extra $25. I said, well, get the marketing. I think I'm just gonna go get a suite. I said, well, this is the thing. If you can calculate that all the clients that come in here for you and not for the name that's outside, then that's your clientele. Then I would say get up and go. But if you can't say that they not gonna go when you go, he was like, well, I never thought about it like that. That's why I want you to really think about it.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
it's a
Because
bigger
if they
picture.
like
It's a
this
bigger picture.
atmosphere, they're not gonna follow you. They only came in here because of this atmosphere. But
Mm-hmm.
so he was like, I think I changed my mind. He texted us and was like, I think I bit off more than I could chew.
Oh wow.
Will y'all let me stay? I'm like, yeah, you can stay, but just think about it before you jump. Like I want everybody to go. I'm ready to uh slingshot my assistant and help her go to the next level. I'm never one of those that's trying to hold you back. But I also understand that you just can't go from a baby, from an infant to just taking off and soaring. It's a step you got to make
Yes,
to get there.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, I appreciate you so much. With us and hairstylists, we could talk forever because this industry
Yes.
is about so much more than just doing hair.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes. I thank you so much. If you want to leave people your IG and your Facebook page.
My IG is DeeDeeMet. Z as in zebra, G as in girl, Dee Dee Metzger. That's my IG, and you can get click the link in the bio and get all of my other information.
That is so awesome. Well, I appreciate you showing
Thank
up
you
for us
guys for
tonight.
having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank y'all. And thank you all, everybody, for joining in. All Dee Dee's followers, all CiCi followers, all Gresham Giles followers, and Straight from the Chair followers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you would love to continue to support us, share this, like it, comment, and we will be back next week. I don't know what the topic is going to be next week yet. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But you'll see it coming up next week as we go. All right. I love you all. CiCi. Y'all all have a great night.
Bye.
Bye bye.